Good morning, students. Welcome back to our biology class. And the last class we have discussed about the Priestley's the bell jar experiment, and I have explained you in a stepwise process and all. I think you have understood. In that bell jar experiment, in that particular experiment process only, he discovered the oxygen gas, and the name oxygen was coined by the Lavoisier. Who discovered the oxygen gas means Joseph Priestley, and who coined the term oxygen means he is a Lavoisier. Okay, so we have discussed this all in your previous class. So by conducting this experiment, so first of all, the Joseph Priestley hypothesized means what he guessed. What he guessed means plant. Plant is restoring the gas which was disturbed by the breathing animals and the burning candles. Okay, by conducting this experiment, Joseph Priestley hypothesized. What he guessed means what means he has some guess. What is a guess? After replacing or restoring the plant, and he concluded that what some gas is restored by the plant which was disturbed by the breathing animal and burning candle. And at last what he concluded means the gaseous exchange is going on in the plants. What he concluded by performing this experiment means the gaseous exchange is going on in plants. That gas which was releasing from the plant, it is helpful for the animal and also for the burning candle. Means some gas is exchanging, some gas is coming from the plants. That gas is helpful for the breathing animals and the burning candle. Okay, it means what? Some gaseous exchange takes place in the plants. And as you know, how the gaseous exchange takes place in plants, you have learned in your previous classes. So you know, the gaseous exchange takes place in plants mainly through the stomata. And as you know, stomata is present in leaves. You know that. Okay. With the help of this stomata, the gaseous exchange takes place in plants. Okay. So not only with the stomata, we can also see other parts of the plants also included in the gaseous exchange. So what are the other parts? You know that. So the loose tissues which are present on stem and roots. Okay, so not only with the help of this stomata, the gaseous exchange takes place. Plants can also respire, or the gaseous exchange takes place from the different parts of the plants. That is the stem and the roots. And as you know how they used to respire, you have learned in your previous classes. But even though we'll discuss that one in detail in your second chapter. Okay, so by this bell jar experiment which was conducted by the Priestley, he discovered the oxygen gas. That oxygen gas was useful for the animals to live, and also for the burning candle. Means some living gas is there which is helpful for the plants, sorry, which that gas is helpful for the animals to sustain their life. So in this way, Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen gas in the year 1774. Okay, oxygen gas was discovered by the Priestley in the year 1774, and who coined the term oxygen means that is Lavoisier, and he coined the term as a oxygen in the year 1775. Is it clear? Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen gas in the year 1774. Later, As I said you, Lavoisier coined the term oxygen in the year 1775. This is about your Bell-Jar experiment. By this experiment, he discovered the oxygen gas, and it is very important point also. Now, next we are moving on to the next topic. So, for photosynthesis, what are the essential materials? What are the essential materials for the process of photosynthesis? Essential materials, essential materials required for photosynthesis. Essential materials required for photosynthesis. So what are the essential materials required for the process of photosynthesis? So you already know the answer. Carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, chlorophyll. Sunlight, chlorophyll. So these are the main materials which are required for the process of photosynthesis. So out of these four, if any one material is not available for the plants, then we cannot see the process of photosynthesis in plants. It means we cannot see the formation of the starch in plants. And as you know, by the process of photosynthesis only starch is formed. So here I have mentioned the four essential materials. Out of these four, if any one material is not available for the plants during the process of photosynthesis, then the plants cannot complete the photosynthesis process, and the plants cannot prepare the starch also. Is it clear for you? Out of these four, if any one material is not available, starch is not formed. It means there is no process of photosynthesis. So that's why we used to call these four as the essential materials which are required for the process of photosynthesis. So now you may have some doubt. Teacher, you are telling that these are the four materials which are required for the process of photosynthesis. And I am telling, if one material is not available also, starch is not formed. So you may have some doubt. So for the doubt clearance, we have some experiments is there. Scientists have conducted those experiments and explained well. So that particular experiments now I am going to explain you. By that experiments, you will get confirmation that out of these four materials, if any one material is not available, starch is not formed. Isn't it? So one material is not available also, starch is not formed. So for that confirmation, we have some experiments is there. So that experiments I am going to explain you now. So first I will take the carbon dioxide. So now we will do an experiment. In that experiment, I won't allow the carbon dioxide for the plants. So how I will do that experiment, and how we can get confirmation that if carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis or not, if carbon dioxide is not available, starch is formed or not, now we will discuss by the experiment. So now we are going to learn another experiment. We have to prove that carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Now we are moving to the another lab activity. What is the main aim of this experiment means to prove that carbon dioxide is necessary. Carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of for the process of photosynthesis. For the process of photosynthesis. So the main aim of this experiment, we have to prove that carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, already have said you those four materials are very important for the process of photosynthesis. If any one material is not available, also starch is not formed. That's my statement. And you people, you have to accept that statement. So you need to understand the experiment. So, for the confirmation that carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis, now we are going to conduct the experiment. Okay. So what is the main aim of this experiment? Carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Yes, now how we are going to conduct this experiment? So before conducting this experiment, for example, to conduct this experiment, we need one potted plant. We need one potted plant. So, already you know the plants contains a starch. So, one of you may ask me one doubt. Teacher, you are saying that if a carbon dioxide is not available, starch is not formed. But one of you will get doubt. What is a doubt means? Teacher, already plants have starch in their leaves. Then how could you will show that starch is formed or starch is not formed? Isn't it? You got this doubt. So, to perform the experiment, first of all, we have to de-starch. We have to de-starch the plant. De-starch the plant. So, what do you mean by the de-starch? It is nothing but we have to remove the starch from the plants before performing the experiment. I repeat once again, to perform this experiment, we have to remove the starch. We have to remove the starch from the plants before performing the experiment. If we remove the starch means only, we can conduct the experiment easily. Why? Because you got doubt. Already if the plants have the starch means we cannot get the clear result. So we have to remove the starch. Then only we can get the confirmation, the only confirmation for the experiment, that is the starch is formed or not. So for this, before performing this experiment, we have to de-starch the plant. Means what? We have to remove the starch from the leaves, starch from the plants. So first of all, I will take one potted plant. So how we can remove the starch? Do you think how we can remove the starch? Do you have any idea? Just think once. How we can remove the starch from the plants? Just think once. I think some members have got the idea. Some members may not. No problem. How we can de-starch the plant means, first of all, we have to take one potted plant and we have to keep that potted plant in a dark room. We have to close all the windows and make sure that the room should be completely dark, and we should keep that particular plant for 7 days. 7 days we should keep that potted plant in a dark room. Okay, in a dark room. We have to keep the potted plant in a dark room for 7 days. So, by dark room means, we should not allow the sunlight to enter into the particular room. Okay, then only we can remove the starch. See, for example, 7 days we are keeping that potted plant in a dark room. It means what? There is no photosynthesis process takes place in the plant. So, whatever the starch is already present in the plants, that will be completely used. Okay, is it clear? So by keeping the potted plant in a dark room and we are not allowing sunlight to enter into the room, it means there is no photosynthesis process takes place It means what? Whatever the reserved starch is present in a particular plants, that will be completely used up by the plants. So now after 1 week, after 7 days, now we have to take out that potted plant outside. Okay, now we have to perform that particular potted plant which is free from the starch. Now we are going to perform that experiment. What is the main aim of the experiment? To prove that carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. So you know what is destarch? Destarch means what? Eliminating the starch from the plants by keeping the particular plant in a dark room. Okay, so in this way we used to destarch the plant. After destarching, after 7 days, we have to take out that particular destarched potted plant outside. Then we have to conduct the experiment. How we should conduct the experiment? In a stepwise, in a picture form, I will explain you neatly. Understand the experiment, and as usual you have to write the lab activity how you used to write in your formative assessment and all, and you have to maintain the neat notes, and you have to draw the diagram also. Okay, and one thing you remember, during this experiment the main confirmation, it is what? Starch. Formation of starch is a main our confirmation test, and whether starch is formed or not, you know, we used to add the iodine solution. Iodine solution we used to use to test the presence of starch in leaves. Is it clear? Now you observe the experiment how we are going